Happy Death Day is directed by Christopher Landon, and this movie tells the story of a girl. She's really mean. She calls people's names. She's just rude to everybody. She's the type of person to throw away a perfectly good cupcake, just a real monster. But she continues to relive her birthday, and each day she is killed by this masked murderer. And when she dies, she wakes up on her birthday every single day until she finds out the identity of her killer. Now, this premise isn't really anything new. We've seen it again and again and again and again. Now, I want to start off this review by saying what does actually work in this movie. Jessica Rothe portrays the lead character in this film, and you might remember her as this character in La La Land, but she portrays this main girl, and her performance is really the brightest part of this film. She essentially is giving this performance of someone who would fit just right with the plastics in Mean Girls. A lot of this film, she's really nasty and really mean, but of course, with the moral of the story, there are a few scenes where she's able to really show what she can do dramatically, and she really impressed me, to be honest. Unfortunately, besides that, there really isn't anything else to love about this movie. Much like the film that came out earlier this year, Before I Fall, you have this girl who's a bully and continues to be killed every single day, and it's about her trying to find out why she's being killed. And just as that movie, this film is very unimpressive and very forgettable, which is disappointing because within the first 30 minutes of this movie, I actually thought that it was going to try to be a horror comedy. Unfortunately, it didn't continue on that path. And that's one of the biggest problems that I had with this movie is it's so tonally confused. It has no idea what kind of movie it wants to be. In one scene, you can very clearly tell that it's trying to be funny and it's trying to be a comedy with some horror elements, but then also it's very clearly trying to scare you. The problem is there aren't a ton of jokes that work really well in this movie, and there are hardly any scares that are impressive at all. They're mostly just these mediocre, run-of-the-mill jump scares. Also, this movie has a ton of problems narratively and chronologically. For example, when this girl wakes up, she's in this guy's dorm room. Now, she could be in this dorm room for 5 minutes talking to this guy, and when she leaves, she continues to see the normal things that she sees every single day. However, if she wakes up and immediately leaves his dorm room, doesn't really talk to him at all, she will continue to see the same things that she sees every single morning. And that really doesn't make any sense. If she leaves this dorm room 5 minutes earlier, she shouldn't be seeing the same events every morning. Also, throughout this movie, her goal is to find her killer. That's kind of the premise of the entire movie. However, her trying to solve this mystery is in a montage scene with music, and I think it's trying to be funny. I'm not really sure, which again is where this tonal confusion comes into play. But even when you find out who this killer is and why they're killing her every single day, I literally laughed out loud at how stupid and contrived and outlandish it was. And again, I didn't know if this movie was taking itself seriously. I could not tell if it was supposed to be as funny as it actually was. And what's just so infuriating about this movie is there's literally a point where they reference Groundhog Day. She's explaining to this guy what's happening to her, and he's like, oh, kind of like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. So this movie knows that its premise isn't the most original thing in the world, but what's frustrating is it doesn't do anything to set itself apart from the other films that also are trying to copy Groundhog Day. It is a bit ironic, I have to admit, that this is the premise that we continue to see over and over and over again. Overall, with Happy Death Day, despite its strong lead performance, this film is just so tonally confused and so ineffective as both a comedy and a horror movie, and is so uninspired that it's just as forgettable as the copycats that came before it. And I think that if you're over the age of maybe 15, that you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. So did you guys see Happy Death Day? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movies and related things. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.